What, you starting a show or what?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a very rare Wednesday Boss Up and List live show. We haven't done one of these in it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. We got super lazy, as those of you that watch us all the time know, and we only do our Sunday show, and then we go away a lot, and then I had surgery, and we barely have a YouTube channel left at this point.
Well, this is kind of like a special, I have it listed, it says BOSS Reseller Remix Preview, so we're going to be doing several of these Wednesday shows to kind of preview some of the people that are going to be coming to the remix, some of our sponsors, some of our presenters. So not only to kind of preview for you guys that are actually coming, but also for those of you that can't make it, you at least get to kind of see what's going on and feel like you're a little bit of a part of it.
Yeah, we hope to do that. And look, Harlan, aren't you working? Aren't you working?
Yeah, this is business. This is business.
I know Harlan has a day job. So he's coming to the remix. I'm super excited to see you and hang out again. I know Doug is coming to the remix. Let's see, Theresa, clearly. I don't know who else is in the chat there. Paul, I don't know.
How about you, Paul? Are you coming?
Are we going to see you in October?
I hope so. It's going to be crazy. Oh, I see. Harlan says he can work and watch.
Oh, you got that kind of special job. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, so Jay is coming again. I'm excited. I think we're going to have such a fun time in October. Honestly, we're under, what's the day count again?
I think we're at 54 days.
54 days to go. If you have not gotten a ticket yet, man, you better, because
oh, come on.
These tickets are going. They're going fast. And last year, our event sold the majority of tickets in August and September. So we've already well over half sold. So you need to.
If you like last year, this year is going to be even bigger and better.
Yeah, you got to get yourself set up. Airline tickets are a little bit funky these days. I get that. But the fact is that we make up for it with a very affordable ticket for our event. So
one tip I would give you guys, if you are planning on coming and for whatever reason you haven't been able to pull the trigger on the ticket, I would at least suggest that you go and book your hotel room, because usually you can book your hotel room. I mean, you have to use your card to like reserve it, but they don't charge you until you're actually there and you stay.
Correct. And almost all of the hotels, it's fully refundable if you cancel up to like a few days in advance.
But you don't pay like for the room.
But you want to make sure that you get a room on
the
Fremont Street and at the good prices that are out there. You definitely want to have a room on Fremont Street. I know that a lot of people are staying on Fremont. The majority of people are. Some people will stay on the Strip or stay off Fremont because that's what they prefer, and that's okay too. Just know that you're going to be much farther away from both the event center and all of the activities that are happening before and after, and the mingling and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of one of the best parts of going to a conference like this, is meeting up with people and hanging out and doing all kinds of fun stuff before and after the sessions. So definitely keep that in mind when you're thinking of where you're going to stay.
Should we bring Theresa in?
I think so. I think so.
Well, from what I understand, Theresa's ready to make her pitch. She sees some people waffling. Theresa, all right, you've got 30 seconds to convince people why they need to go.
He's got 30 seconds to at least convince Paul, because
there you go.
Paul's the one in the chat that mentioned it.
Okay, Paul, I don't know what you're on the fence and what you're thinking about, but I will promise you this. This is my personal promise. If you make the leap, buy your ticket, and get there. Okay, very small time seller. So this is exactly what you need. I spent 25 years trying to build up this networking community, and you're just starting, and you get this right here one time. All these huge sellers, YouTubers, social media influencers, people that have done this, you can save yourself so much time and headache by not making the errors, by talking to the people that have already made them. Like, come on.
Well, and you're saying, Paul, that you're not sure if you want to continue selling. I would say one of the big things about going to an event like this, whether it's eBay Open or the BOSS Reseller Remix, is every single person that attends something like this, you leave so crazy re-energized and excited about what you do. If you're in a funk, if you're just kind of like over it,
the motivation is one of the best parts. And it doesn't matter if you're a small time seller or a seller that is doing millions. We have people at every end of that spectrum and everywhere in between at our event. I said this briefly in we were on Casey's channel last night talking about the remix. Casey, Rockstar Flipper. And one of the things that I'd said is you do not need to be $1 million seller to be a successful seller. That has been a rumor that has been said by certain influencers, shall we say. And that's not important. Success is measured by each individual person. Your success is what you consider successful.
Yeah.
If $200 a week helping you pay for bills in your family or in your household is successful to you, then that's successful to you. You don't have to make millions a year to be a success. A success is all what you make it.
Yeah. See, and Paul says he's been selling online since 1995. Man, you need to be re-energized. And, a big part, the overarching theme, overarching, I don't know which one you say.
Overarching.
Theme of this year is really about kind of completely rethinking what it is to be a reseller in 2022, because
it's not what it was.
As I'm very sure you're aware, since you've been selling since 95, things have changed so much, and they've changed so much just in the last couple of years. And I think for a lot of people that can be frustrating or scary or exhausting. And so I think this is going to be an opportunity for people to really kind of.
And I've been a seller since 98. Teresa's been a seller since the 90s as well, right? I mean, it's changed so much.
95. But let me make this last pitch to Paul, because I am living. I'm living at my mom's in a 55 and older community, and I help a lot of the older people here sell off small stuff. And what I like it for them, and you probably know this because you've been doing this, it keeps you active. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you going. It's like when my mom stopped quilting a couple of years ago, I saw a decline fast. And there was a lot of reasons for her doing that. So for life and vitality, if you're still able to do it, even on a small scale, I think you should still do it if you're physically able to. It helps with mental, all that other good stuff. I love how old you are. I love that you've been selling since 95. I don't like that you're thinking about quitting. So I want to.
Sun City West, where's that?
Sun City West is not. Oh, that's not too far from me. I'm in Trilogy.
You don't even have far to go, Paul. You just outed yourself so bad, Paul.
Paul, I've already done some.
Teresa's going to pick you up.
I've already done some internet sleuthing. I found Paul's address. Teresa's going to be at your front door in an hour.
Teresa's going to pick you up and bring you to Vegas with her at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I have a soft spot for the seniors because, and it's one of the reasons why I fight for this 1099 thing, because a lot of seniors, it helps them stay engaged with the community and helps them. It's just a mental thing. My mom would always say, if you use it or lose it. And I really believe that that's true. So hopefully that's your pitch, Paul. If you're thinking about it, we will absolutely embrace you. You will learn something. Maybe you don't use it, but you're like, hey, that's pretty cool.
And you will. And
Paul's been to your house, Theresa.
Not in Chandler?
Maybe for your meetup?
Oh, I know who Paul is. It was in Tempe when we were meeting at Jane's house, but I remember you, Paul. We haven't had
any. So Felix's Funky Fine says, I wish I could make it, but I have an elderly mother that I take care of. We do have a virtual ticket option. So that is absolutely something we all understand, especially Theresa, who's was taking care of her mom for the past few years. In order to stay connected and to stay connected in the community, please consider the virtual ticket option. It's not a live virtual ticket. We don't have that kind of money. Sorry, guys. But you will have every session recorded and edited. And we're going to have every vendor talk on the video as well, so that you're going to get a little taste of everything that you've missed, that you did not see in person. Every session will be recorded and sent to you in a private email format if you decide to purchase a virtual ticket.
Well, and the other part of that, if you go down below, there's a direct link to the ticket sales. And so you'll see the virtual options. And there's just a regular virtual option, which just gets you the videos. But there's the plus option, which actually gets you into the private Facebook group for all the attendees in person and with the virtual plus ticket. And the thing about that is you're going to feel a little bit more like you're involved. I am going to be doing some live streaming from the event. I'm not going to do whole sessions or anything like that, but I will do some live video so that you guys can kind of be a part of it a little bit and interact and get a little bit more of the feel of what's going on the ground there that other people are going to be missing out on. So that is an option.
And so, I mean, I guess we could talk like this for hours. We do, obviously. This is what we do. But we do have a special guest waiting in the wings to come onto the show. Those of you that watch our channel and those of you that don't, that may have found us by mistake this morning, hopefully you're going to stick around. But you hear us talk about List Perfectly quite a lot. List Perfectly is one of the sponsors of the Katy and Vikki show. They're also dear friends of ours. Clara and Amanda, the founders of List Perfectly, are friends of ours. We use the product. All of our admins use the product. We talk about it a lot in the Boss Facebook group. But not only that, is List Perfectly has last year when we decided to do the very first reseller remix. In fact, in 2019, we started talking with List Perfectly about coming in on board and helping us as sponsors. We didn't know if we were going to be able to pull it off. We kind of did, but we needed help, and we knew we needed help. And they're such supportive members of the community in general that there was no question. They stepped in and said, yes, what can we do? How can we help you? And they're not just like that for us because they're friends. They're like that everywhere in the community. And those of you that follow List Perfectly, you know this. But last year they came in and they helped us with a big sponsorship, and they didn't know if we were going to be successful. They could have been throwing money down the drain. They didn't know. They didn't care. They wanted to be supportive and they wanted to help us. Thankfully, we pulled it off, and I hope we made it worth their investment. But this year they wanted to step right back up. So I'm assuming that we did okay. They decided to come in and List Perfectly is one of our main sponsors of the BOSS Reseller Remix. In fact, they sponsor the fun parts. Mm-hmm. They sponsor.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. They know what's up. So the very first night that we all get together, Monday night, there is a cocktail reception at the Cat's Meow. All the information's on the website.
It's going to be the Cat's Meow.
It will be the Cat's Meow. And it is a karaoke bar. And it's a huge bar that is on Fremont Street. And one end of it is just like a normal bar area. And then the other end of it is a huge karaoke area. And
that's optional.
You don't have to do karaoke. I would probably force a few of you to do that.
Yeah, the meet and greet isn't a karaoke meet and greet, but that will be an option at some point. I think a great icebreaker for your first night out, and then the rest of the week we're gonna be like, oh, wow, there goes so and so, they can sing.
Yes, exactly. I think it's a great icebreaker. So they are sponsoring the meet and greet, and they are also sponsoring our closing party on Thursday night. So for those of you that went last year, those of you may have seen some pictures from the event last year. Thursday night we have a party where we have the Broken Spectacles, which is the visually impaired amazing band that comes and will play for the first couple of hours, and then we have a DJ and we dance. We did a lot of dancing last year, and it is a fully catered event. It's not a sit-down meal; it's lots of picky foods, So, but there's plenty of it. And we will have 2 cash bars this year. Last year, 1 cash bar. The line got a little bit long. We learned the little things that we need to tweak for this year, and we're gonna have 2 cash bars as well. Then by cash, I don't mean cash. It just means we're not buying your booze, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So
without further ado, let's bring little Clara in.
Is that what you call her now? Little Clara?
Little Clara. She's little with a really big mouth. Kind of like
what kind of introduction is this? Clara, I apologize. I told her she could take a lead on the show, and I don't know. This might be a one and done.
Let's install our main sponsor while we're at it.
I am opinionated, so I'll take it. Okay, you know me. I'm like, I get excited, and there is no turn off. And with Vikki, we're always chit-chatting, so I feel it, girl.
She knows I love her. That is said with love, because she and I we're both mouthy. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'll own it.
No, Katy, you cracked me up. What was it? Sassy McSasserton. I know that was. Thank you for having me here. I'm very, very happy to be back. Hi, bosses. Hi, listers. Hi, Timani.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, I mean, List Perfectly, we all know a lot about List Perfectly. We all know that they are the only service that is 100% compliant with all of the platforms. We do know that they are an amazing cross-listing and cross-posting service, but they are also so much more than that. We have had Amanda and Clara on our channel many times, and in the BOSS Facebook group and all of that. Those of you that know about the product, and I think at this point almost all of you do, and I think I'm looking in the chat there, I think almost everybody uses List Perfectly that's in the chat. We actually have, Clara has some fun stuff to talk about that's coming up with List Perfectly as a company. And you might get a couple of teasers and a couple of breaking news.
We'll see how much
tidbits.
info we can pull out of her.
Breaking news tidbits here this morning on this show. So I don't know, take it away, Clara.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Many things going on with the community, always guiding us in setting new goals for List Perfectly. As you all know, we're walking towards beefing up our inventory management system. So we understand that once you have many channels, okay, the next step you're going to have is managing that inventory. So making sure you don't have multiple sales on different channels, okay, of the same product is one of our main goals. We've been working on that nonstop. So I'm so excited. Theresa look, she's poker face. Oh, she's testing everything.
I'm just waiting to see what you say, and then I'll add to it so I don't let any cats out of the bag. Because I do. And those of you that don't know, I do a lot of testing for List Perfectly, and I loved it.
Yeah. So for those of you, I barely test my product. If it passes Teresa's test, that's when it comes to me, and then I do the final test. But definitely, I'm excited. Teresa has been working with the List Perfectly version that it will automatically remove sold listings. Not only that, okay, we're gonna have many other features that are being asked, okay, by the community in order to accelerate and expedite the growth of your reselling businesses and in different channels. Also, we're getting ready to add more channels, plural.
Channels. Oh, that was plural. That was plural.
How can you tell us how many new channels?
More than one, for sure.
More than one.
Okay.
You know how we like to do
Hey
it.
guys, in the chat, we can't confirm or deny anything. And Vikki and I at least do not know the answer to this. So
We
in
don't.
the chat, give us your guesses, or how about this? Give us your best wishes of which channels you hope are the ones that are being added. We want to know. I would love to see what you hope is being added to List Perfectly. We'll see what they say.
Absolutely. Great question. I love that question. To those of you, okay, you can always place the request on List Perfectly Facebook group, or if you're a lister, a List Perfectly member, any plan, you can send us a feature request, and then you can tell us a feature, a marketplace. We're always measuring that and making sure we deliver the channel that you need the most.
I just wanted to say something. Tommy in Seattle, you might have missed our show last night. And I'm going to say Whatnot is a fantastic platform, but the way that it works is not something that would necessarily be compatible with the way List Perfectly works. However, what you can do is you can download your inventory into a CSV file.
We can upload it on Whatnot. When you build a show, you can
download it first on List Perfectly. Download your CSV file. You can pick and choose using keywords, using platforms where things are already listed. And you can download the CSV file, which will capture the information that you need for Whatnot, including your photos. And then you can take that CSV file and it can be uploaded to a Whatnot show.
Okay. So my question for Clara then. Okay, my question for Clara then, because the Whatnot, and maybe you can't answer this, I don't know. The Whatnot CSV is very specific.
Yes.
So as far as I know, List Perfectly doesn't have a Whatnot specific CSV you can download. So it would take some work to make it ready to upload to Whatnot. So to me, that would be something that might be possible at some point with List Perfectly, because you have, with Whatnot, they give you a template of a CSV that has the very exact columns. And so I see that being a possibility.
So clearly Clara understands what columns we're talking about. So that would lead me to believe that this is something that may be somewhere in the pipeline. Who knows?
And actually, because I know a little bit about the process they have to go through to add a channel, because it is huge and very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But something with like Whatnot, that would be like a little, it wouldn't be quite that, because it's really just about being able to build that compatible CSV file. I would hope.
Well, more than that, the number one thing that we're looking at, the future for me, okay, and I've been saying this, I think you heard me in Teresa, I think it's like, not again, okay, but video. I am obsessed with video. That's one thing that we're going to be supporting soon. I'm excited. We're still playing with it. It's not easy, but video is the future. So once we get the beautiful thing is that the foundation, the hardest part was built already. The second we integrated with photo room. So that was the game changer back then and there, so that allow our platform now to upgrade to videos. Okay. When it comes to CSV files, okay, even though we will not have, a CSV customization for Whatnot. Okay, you can still edit those columns. Okay, on the with any spreadsheet manager. Okay, and the beautiful thing is that our CSV files come with images, so you don't have to manually upload those images. So in the future, we will also have links for video. That's a thing that I'm looking forward to.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
because I think Whatnot, they don't quite have it built into their CSV, the photo thing, but that's coming, I think, really soon. So
Yes.
I think that's a big deal to be able to upload the photos in the CSV for sure.
That's right. Another thing, I'm excited to announce, talking with Grail, incredible company, incredible team. Hi, thank you, Grail. So just letting you know, okay, don't forget, even though they took down heroin, they're supporting women's category.
Yeah, they just added women's wear.
Yeah. So
thank God, heroin had such a terrible name. I don't know what they were thinking. What were they thinking? That was the worst. That's why it didn't go anywhere.
Because they wanted to be able to market it and be like, get hooked on heroin, right?
Terrible marketing decision.
The jokes in the LP group was like, can we start with crack or cocaine?
What were they?
I know, they were brutal. The jokes, I agree with you. It was not well received, let's say.
It was a very poor business decision to call.
Well, they were trying. They were trying.
Yeah, there were so many other options they could have chosen. That was
I think integrating it to their regular site is a better option, and I think that's going to work a lot better.
And I love their logo. They have a logo now that is like very great. It's really nice. Okay, so I'm really,
it's going to make me actually, start listing. That's probably going to be my platform for 2023 because of what I sell. I'm definitely going to eliminate one or two of the others that don't really work for me. I had been doing a bit on Depop. Depop sucks for me because Depop just wants cheap prices, and I don't sell things cheap.
And they still only do 4 photos, right?
And it's still only 4 photos. And I understand somebody not wanting to buy something for $200 when you only have 4 photos. I get it. You can't even send photos and messages if they ask you for them. So, I mean, for me, Depop is, I get 1 sale every other month there. So that's a platform I'm going to drop. And that Railed will probably be the one that I add next year.
Oh, okay.
What other teasers do you have?
I know there's some teasers. I have 2 things.
Wait. She's got some stuff. Come on, let her tell us.
Sorry, do you mean to go? Vikki first, please.
No, I was just saying. I took my notes when we talked yesterday. We've got. There were 2 things that she was going to talk about. There's something about List Perfectly and their plans that might be happening.
Do you think about plans as expanding plans, or are you talking about our physical presence with different events?
Specifically subscription levels.
Ooh,
and
I love it. Oh, good teaser. Okay, you asked for it, and we're coming. List Perfectly will launch a 4th plan. We will never change prices, okay, but we will add a 4th different plan, okay, because you've been asking for it. This is gonna be I'm very excited, very, very excited. Teresa has been again testing. Thank you, Teresa. Look at her poker face. I love it. Teresa, what do you think, without giving it away? What do you think about it?
This is going to be a game changer for some. I'm not going to give it away by saying what type of seller.
Yeah.
But there is a specific type of seller List Perfectly has in mind with this. And I kind of fit the mold, but I think it even allows me to grow. And that's probably too much. But so I'm really excited about the perks and the additions and the features that come with this.
When will this plan be actually unveiled?
We're
You can't ask
looking
Clara
at-
that. Amanda will kill you.
Well, you can give like a rough estimate, like
No.
5 years from now, a week
No.
from now.
This
No.
perfectly
month?
works way faster than that. Months,
Thank you,
definitely.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm just trying
We're
to narrow
talking
it
about-
down.
And I'm going to say yesterday, because Amanda was in the background because she was asking, what can I say? What can I say? So, you know, you could probably give a little bit more than that there's going to be a fourth plan. Where's the fourth plan going to fall on the spectrum?
This fourth plan it's been something that is being requested from day one from List Perfectly, and many people are like, why aren't you doing this, why aren't you doing that? And I'm like, this will give the answer and we'll put the pieces together why we didn't do that, why. And as a reseller, understanding compliance,
Because you are trying to be 100% compliant on all platforms.
That's right.
So let me say this, that if there's going to be some awesome features I'm looking forward to, but, and I say this all the time because I now understand why eBay has to do some things, but I really understand it because of working with this perfectly. You have to build the bottom step before you can build the next step, before you can build the next step. And so
What Teresa's saying is it's a higher level.
I'm saying that the features.
I'm saying you built those first ones.
Before we, you know, like with the list with eBay, like before they could do automatic payment, they had to get on the payment plan, and now they have to do something else. And it's like you have to keep building these things so that the technology is in place to do something bigger, better, faster, all that stuff. So.
Oh, Tommy in Seattle says you are adding a bot for shares on Posh. Bots are not allowed on Posh, and I'm so happy you asked for that. Okay, not allowed, and now finally Posh is putting all kind of mechanisms to prevent those bots. Okay, so those auto sharing bots, that's gonna be within a couple of months. They're gonna be out of. They're gonna need to invest a lot of money, which they don't have. Okay, because they're relying on a very automated style, okay, in order to create, okay, a sharing experience, which is exactly, and they're very consuming and taxing on Posh servers. That's why Poshmark is building all kind of preventions, okay? So these bots, okay, they will not be able to be used. So I highly recommend not using bots, okay?
I was going to say, full disclosure, I use a bot, and I think anybody that is successful on Poshmark does. It's unfortunate, but it's necessary because of what they require as far as their algorithms.
But that could change at any time.
But that could change. That could change. You know, they backed off of it being something that was not allowed a little over a year ago. They stopped talking about it, and they kind of turned the other way. And now
they just added it. They just added it again.
But listen,
now they're cracking back
down.
But
the reality is that everyone who does use a bot, including Vikki, know that they're going into it taking a risk, and it's a calculated risk, and they decide to do it because they do see that it helps their sales. But the bottom line is, when it comes to List Perfectly, as a reseller, when you sign up for List Perfectly, you never have to worry that they're putting you in a position that's going to risk your selling accounts, because they always follow the terms of service for every single platform that they work with.
Thank you.
And it's been said many times, is that that's the reason why it has taken as long as it has taken to have the automatic delist on sales, because it's something that was not allowed to happen. Everything, full automation is not allowed on many platforms. And it's not that List Perfectly cannot create the code to do this. It can be done. There are a few other companies that have tried here and there, but they're not doing it the right way. So if you don't want to risk your entire selling account, then you don't want to use a company that's going about it the wrong way.
So Clara, Allison says, speaking of that, a little bird mentioned that you're introducing automated delisting. Can you address that?
We talk about delisting is one thing, okay, and mark sold, okay. I know other services, they don't have that difference, okay, so they just use delist for sold and everything. But because we render analytics and so forth, okay, for us, delisting is one thing, relisting is another one, and mark sold is another one. So what we're chasing, Big Drift, is an tool that automatically will remove your marked sold listings, okay, and without breaking.
You still have to mark it sold, and then it'll automatically remove them.
No, that's what we have right now.
That's what they have now.
Oh, okay.
That's what we have now. Okay.
Okay.
No,
I mean,
no,
you still
And
have
so-
to open up the screens, but it does.
And so what is going to be happening?
List Perfectly will do it.
All right. And how does that work?
Very simple. You sell something in Poshmark, and then LP will mark it sold, in
So it's
Poshmark,
gonna
and you list it
know
from
that something's
eBay,
sold.
Citizen, Grail, Facebook
it's going to be
Marketplace. and so
linked.
forth.
It's going to be like, if any of you have used Bonanza in the past, I think is the clearest way that I can describe it. Bonanza has a link with, it's the only one that does this, and it's a crappy platform, but Bonanza has a link with eBay. And,
Money laundering.
and if you sell something on Bonanza, it automatically ends the listing on eBay. Whatever that's the only company that has that specific link that does that. Of course, you're going to sell like one thing a year on Bonanza, but they have that technology. I don't know. I mean, I used Bonanza for 10 years. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad company. It just, whatever. It's not a good enough company. It doesn't sell anything. But you know, that was one thing that was always a good perk because it was an easy platform. You would integrate your listings would refresh like once every 12 hours. So it was always synced. And then when something ended, it automatically ended, and it rarely messed up. So that was a good thing. So if List Perfectly is able to have that same type of technology, if all of your listings are going to be on, on the List Perfectly platform, and you're going to have all of your item numbers connected because of all of your additional platforms, then that is actually awesome. That's what everybody's dream is.
Back to my question for the last thing we were talking about. What's the timeline looking for when that goes into effect?
Teresa, how is it working? Is it working? How is it working? Well, I don't know. Teresa knows more about it because I don't have sold listings. So we rely a lot on Kimberly, Teresa, and other people that have sold listings, so we can keep testing what is flawless. Unlike other companies, when we launch something, we really have a product that has passed. Okay.
So you're hoping sometime in the next few coming months that
no, this is like 30 days or
30
so.
days. Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
That's
what I'm looking
deal.
for. I'm letting people know when they can expect some of these changes.
Yes, Trish right there. This will change my entire business because Trish is someone, as many of you know, that we've had Trish on our channel and talked about it. Trish is a high volume, lower ASP seller. So she has strictly been on almost entirely just on eBay because her stuff sells so quickly and for such low.
She ships 100+ items a day. She'd
be spending all this time trying to delist everything and to try to keep track of her inventory on other platforms. It's not something. Cross posting is not someone that works for everybody, depending on what your business model is. But cross posting would be great for her if she were able to do this, and that exactly right. That would change her entire business, and then she'd be able to sell, 150 items a day because she'd be selling 50 on the other platforms.
So Allison is asking about plans to include thrilling. Allison, Clara teased earlier that they are adding platforms, so plural, and all she would say is that means more than one, but she won't say which platforms. So
I said this last night that List Perfectly, took my suggestion when I started working with Thrilling a little over a year ago, and I needed to have the CSV download be store specific or platform specific in order for me to send to my Thrilling rep. So I still do that. So every week or every other week, I download by date my Etsy listings because all of my Etsy listings are vintage. So Etsy is my go-to. I download my Etsy listings. I send that CSV file based on date that it was last sent, and I send it to my Thrilling rep, and then they upload everything for me. Now, the biggest problem with Thrilling is that they have, I don't know who inputting their uploads are terrible. But if you are able to have a good conversation, if you have a good relationship with your Thrilling rep, like I do, my Thrilling rep has already flagged my account that they are not to change anything about my listings.
they don't change. They're not allowed to change my titles.
They are allowed to change my titles. They're not allowed to change or truncate my titles because I know my titles are already SEO rich. Stop changing my titles.
I would have a Denver Broncos t-shirt, and it would go up as NFL t-shirt.
Oh,
like, why? Why would you look at this listing with this title and be like, NFL t-shirt? Like, who's searching for an NFL t-shirt. So yeah, there's things. So I actually do really like Thrilling.
I like Thrilling. I like my rep. I love
Yeah.
that it's hands off. They've changed a couple of things now. I knew that their 10% flat fee was not going to work for everyone forever. They've had to have been losing money hand over fist this last year, covering shipping and all their shipping losses and all that kind of stuff. So what I love is that if we are able to do this, the one thing that's going to be nice is that it would actually have your weights, because the weights are always wrong on the CSEs because it doesn't take the weight from Etsy right now. So if this is something that is in the pipeline, that will make a huge difference, because every time they send you a label on Thrilling and they think it's 1 pound and it's a 4 pound jacket, you have to email back and forth with them to get the label. And it's just time consuming. If they have the weight properly.
Hey, I sell stuff on there for like higher price. I'm sending out 2 t-shirts today that each sold for $100 on Thrilling. And I really do like that they partner with all the different television shows and movies. I just sold a shirt to the L Word, Allison. You ladies out there, the L Word. I sold a t-shirt to them. So I do like them as a platform. There's just definitely some big frustrations.
I love them as a platform. Yes, there are some frustrations. The fact that it has been very majority of it has been very hands off is what has made it a very easy addition as a secondary platform. And if you're a vintage seller, a quality vintage seller, you should be on Thrilling.
Okay.
Interesting.
We happen to know that there's something big coming to List Perfectly. And this is beyond everything that we've been talking about, guys. Okay. All the other stuff is kind of like a little bit predictable in the sense of, it follows kind of the line of the things that List Perfectly has been doing. But I know there's something big coming, and I don't know how much Clara is willing to tell us.
I don't know how much she can tease.
I know, but she's got to tease a little. You got to tease a little bit, Clara, because
I got the Amanda approval. I got it.
What can you get? How much of a little tease can you give us for what's coming down the pipe?
www.listingparty.com. In a session that I did on YouTube, List Perfectly, we talked
www.listingparty.com. Is there actually a site there right now if people go to it?
We own it. That's all I can say. I don't know if you can see it.
It's not active yet.
It isn't going to take you guys anywhere, but www.listingparty.com. Do with that what you will. All right, Clara, tell us what more you can.
Listing Party is an incredible project that we are very proud to have make it real with Amanda. For years, we've been dreaming about this with Amanda. We wanted to not only help people to find the right people to list, to connect with VAs, but also we wanted to make a website where listers can help each other, and we can help optimize listings, where we can share, the best listing practices. I am so excited. One of the best examples I can give about Listing Party is that on a session of Listing Party with List Perfectly, we were talking with Kimberly, a new List Perfectly member, and she had a vintage rock tee, okay? Of course, not rock, but it's Duran, okay? In that the title was not, it didn't have the tour. The price was low, okay? In the quality of the product was perfect. The prints, the labels, the copyright, everything was there. So here we are doing Listing Party with List Perfectly team members. We're testing our own product, right? And we're always optimizing, working what is better for listings. And we tells to Kimberly, you need to put this and this tour, okay? And I go to her at keywords.
And you need to increase your price.
And I went at keywords and increase your price. Do you want to sell it to a reseller that is going to sell it in a lace for $500, or are you going to sell it for $500 yourself? Said and done. If you go on Therapy, okay, and you go vintage rock tee, okay, there she is, Duran, Kimberly Rose. She sold it to Belgium for $500. She had it listed for $170, something like that. So I know
just by changing the title and optimizing the title and taking suggestions from other sellers, she more than doubled the price and sold it quickly, where it had been sitting in her store for a while at a lower price.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks, she sold it.
Yep,
And what is best is like literally, it was one button with keywords that you press on List Perfectly. Click, suggest keywords. We do the keywords for you. So it's just important that when you're optimizing listings, you use any feature that List Perfectly. This is why List Perfectly is more than a cross-posting service. This is why there is no bot automated service, data scraping, okay, and all those gimmicky services that will not help you to optimize your listing. If you were if if you already know, you wouldn't be needing, okay, and a sales accelerator if if your listings were perfect. So that's what we always look, because every reseller is different. Even the seller with the same product, okay, we're going to present it differently to our audience. So that's what we are very, very interested in List Perfectly. We have seen what these automated services have done to Poshmark. Yes, we spoke to Poshmark. It's not us doing anything, against bots. It's marketplaces. You've already seen Facebook Marketplace putting, they don't want you to go and work on platforms or third-party vendors. They want you to finish the listings on their platforms. That's why LP is compliant. It's not us pushing the listings on your behalf. It's always you, the human. That's why it's not a bot. And you're not going, I'm not delaying, my software to make it look like a human. It's the human publishing the listing. So staying in compliance and making sure that we're providing the best solutions. We've been speaking about this for years, and I knew marketplaces will go that way. It's very expensive for marketplaces to deal with these bot companies. So my biggest advice is be careful. Don't invest your time and money on these, and be careful who you select. There is incredible services also with real people to share closet. Again, they're becoming really affordable. And of course, List Perfectly, we will be a sharing tool that shares, okay, listings perfectly without you getting suspended. And if you didn't get suspended, good, okay, but just be careful. They're coming, okay, and I don't need to give FOMO, okay, but this is, you've seen it already on many groups, okay, of they're using these automated services. Just be careful, all right? And when you're using them, try to, maybe, try to space it that, when they have those settings, if you can really, really take the time
you
to
can do 10 seconds, 15 seconds between shares,
bigger,
whatever.
bigger, try to
Bigger.
really
Yeah.
imitate. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want you guys to get suspended. But marketplaces are getting smart. They don't want you to be using those tools. They don't want you. They want you to be using tools where they can hold you in their platform. That's why List Perfectly is compliant, because we take you back.
Going back to, I'm not letting you get away from this. Going back to your little teaser, which was perfectly vague by design. I do want to point out the few keywords that I pulled out of it. You've got listing party. You've got community. I heard you say VAs, virtual assistants.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So
much needed.
Honestly, I don't know what the deal is going to be, but can you tell us, back to the same question I've asked on all these future features, what is the general timeline before we're able to actually hear what the deal is with listing?
Now, this one I know, but I'm going to let her answer.
Wait,
I kind of know.
Before she goes in the timeline, let me explain something to you, because this is a project that I'm very passionate about, is this whole idea of VAs. And because I use VAs, I know how important it is to my business. And I know that the biggest hurdle for me starting with a VA was training them. And so Clara can attest to this. Very beginning stages of List Perfectly, we talked about we need VAs to do this. And if we had a pool of VAs that would be able to cross post, then you could just pull from that VA and you don't have to train somebody. So I have been working on training a variety, not a bunch, a variety of VAs. And I actually stick to the ones in the US, but I am going to go out to, maybe the Philippines or something like that. But the idea is that you hire a VA from the pool, and they already know how to use List Perfectly, and they already know what cross-posting is. And all they have to do is, I'm working on a list of things so that the VA and the seller have a communication and understand what they need to do. So when you're cross-posting Macari, you don't just if you don't want them to use Macari shipping, then you that's a conversation you need to have. You don't know that. How do I know this is an issue? Because I didn't have that conversation with my VA, and my VA put all Macari, and then I said use my shipping, and then she made it free shipping, and I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. So I'm in doing this process, I'm coming up with a statement of process that will be available for everybody, and then
you
my
tweak
vision
it
is it
according
will
to
be a
what you
live
need.
document.
All right, listen, guys. I don't know if Theresa was supposed to, but that teaser just became a lot less vague.
I like
I'm
it.
just saying.
Approved. Approved.
Back
When is
to
it happening?
the timeline, Clara. People need to know.
That one is 45 days, I would say max. Okay. It's already been, it's tested. Okay. I would say earlier because Amanda just wants to launch as soon as, because we're going to go in phases. So if I wish I could tell you more about it. Once I tell you more about it,
I think 45 days is good.
I will tell you that
give me
the
30 days and I can say more about it.
Yeah, no, I think that
I think that's good.
With what Theresa added, I think that gives us a lot.
So we have said, and we hadn't announced it before, but now we are going to add it to our website and things like that. But Listing Party is also a sponsor of the Reseller Remix. And if she's saying that we've got a 30-day or 45-day time frame, if you are going to be at the Reseller Remix, you'll be able to see this in person. You'll be able to hear about it in person, and you'll be able to see more of a demonstration about the product and more.
You're after us. You're too smart. Okay. You added, you put it together. Yes.
Yep. So Tommy, I mean, I can guarantee you it's not going to be free. I mean, this is a whole new product, but
no,
Clara,
no. You never.
Clara, could you talk a little bit? I don't know how much you can tell us, like how this fits into for like people who are currently List Perfectly users. Where is this going to fit in, or is this going to be part of the?
That might be the new 4th tier.
Where does this fit? Where does this fit in?
Okay, so it will not be the 4th tier. Okay, it will be available to all List Perfectly members. All right, initially, as you know, we are self-funded, self-made. Okay, we have no investors, so we work a little the opposite way of companies. So we start with a product that we know, like for example, Pro Plan is what financed my business and my Simple Plan, right? So because Pro Plan is what I had as a reseller for myself. So with these with this incredible option that we're going to be offering to all List Perfectly members in the beginning, we just have to keep it at List Perfectly members until I develop, the foundation strong enough to handle a bigger volume. As you know, we List Perfectly is very big. We have 40,000 signups. Okay, so it's been, it's handling, making sure that we handle that demand effectively. It's very important to List Perfectly. To those of you that I still remember Vikki when we launched List Perfectly back in 2019, August, and she would be so kind and call me, Clara, I don't want to bother you, but List Perfectly is down again. Could you please fix it? So we learn from those of you. Yes, we learn, from our errors. Back in the day, we never knew that List Perfectly would go viral. So we understand, as resellers, we understand what our community needs, and we are so excited for this Listing Party project. And the part that we can say that we started exactly what Theresa said, the VA part, we understand how important that is to grow your business.
Yeah. See, look what Megan just said. She said, I am super excited to hear more. I've never felt confident enough to find, train, or trust a VA. But if LP is involved, I'll be checking that out. And that's, I think that's key. I think a lot of people feel like that. A lot of people feel like you're giving up a portion of control, and you have to have an element of trust to hire a VA. And what if they don't do it right? And how much access do you have to give? And it's a scary thing, giving up control and access to your business that you've built. Yeah. And a lot of that is based on using a VA, and depending on what country they're from, and different types of servers and all of that. And the IPA, what is it? The IPA address? I don't know, something address.
Yes, IP address. Yes.
IP address. Thank you. So, but sometimes that gives you issues depending on what platforms you're working with and where they're signing in from. I knew what I was talking about, but I was using the wrong word. So I think that's,
awesome. I could tell you right now, we've had, for those of you who've come to like the remix or been to open, Okay, Theresa, yes.
It's so hard to get word in edgewise.
Yes.
So let me just say the flip side of that, because like I said, I have been training VAs, and my VA that's been working for me for probably 2 or 3 years that does my listing, she posted in the List Perfectly Facebook group that she was available to be a VA, and she's very well trained in listing on all the platforms and with List Perfectly. A lot of people commented, a lot of people talked to her in chat. She got hired by nobody. So that to me is an interesting thing. And I know a couple of other people. So it's like I'm training these VAs saying there's lots of work out there because of the people. So my point is that I'm still training these VAs, but they're still going to be top notch. You still have to work with them. They're not going to be perfect. Trust me. Nobody on this call does business the way I do. So they don't like to listen the way I do. So the way that I train my VA, but these people know how to edit and adjust and whatever to what you want. But the point is that if you really want a VA and you reach out, then don't ghost them. Like because it was deflating for her, and I felt really bad for her. And I said, trust me, they will come. They will come. It's okay. Because I don't have enough work to keep her busy right now because I don't have a photographer.
I personally love having an in-person assistant, and we know this, so I've talked about it before, because of the tasks that I have them do. However, if there is somebody that is already LP trained in the VA portal, I will absolutely be using someone to do my cross-posting. Why would I be taking the time to do that? Well, I absolutely will hire someone if there's someone there to do that.
Yeah. Well, and what I was going to say is you saw Trish in the chat earlier. So Trish she focuses just on eBay because her model is high volume, lower prices, and it's too much for her to even think about trying to go to other platforms. She's able to build a really successful business just on eBay. But once you combine being able to have things automatically end once they sell across multiple platforms, I guarantee you she's going to hop on board with like hiring some VAs hiring some VAs that can take all of her listings and go on List Perfectly and put them across all the different platforms. And then before the show started, and last night we were talking to Casey, Rockstar Flipper, he just bought out an entire eBay store from somebody, something like 14,000 listings or something like that. And thanks to Theresa, I'll give you the credit, Theresa. Thanks to Theresa, he was going to handle it in a totally ridiculous way that was going to take way too much time. And Theresa was like, why don't you just bring all of because they still had their active store. Why don't you just bring all of their listings into List Perfectly? Okay. So basically, I think he's going to be done today or tomorrow. He's already more than halfway through
15,000 listings.
Over 10,000 listings are going to be put onto List Perfectly, and now he can take those
into his account.
Yeah, and his plan was to put it over, onto his eBay store. But now VA, he can also have it across all these other platforms. Because I don't know, he's done Poshmark before, but I don't know if he's currently on other platforms.
And he's tried Macari, and he does a little bit on Macari and a little bit on Poshmark, but that's it. He doesn't understand a lot of the other platforms because Casey works hard and he just hasn't had the time.
He doesn't hire people.
Post everything, and he doesn't hire. He has Kate.
Yep.
So this is actually going to be great for him because he'll be able to have somebody help get 1 million listings onto other platforms, and he's going to easily increase his sales as well. I mean, I've even slowed down on cross posting onto as many platforms as I used to because I just don't have the time.
Well, when's the last time you cross posted onto Macari?
October of last year.
I keep up with my cross posting, but
I keep up with Etsy and Poshmark, and because those are my money makers.
Yep.
Obviously every eBay is my native platform, and I keep up with Etsy and Poshmark, and that's it. And
if you could have somebody else do all of them.
If I could have someone else do all of them, I would absolutely keep up with Macari, and I'd be doing Grailed. It becomes labor intensive. As easy as it is to be on several platforms, it still takes you 3 to 5 minutes, whatever, to cross post one item to 5 other platforms. So if you're doing 100 items a week, that takes time. It still takes time to cross post. I was doing a couple of hours a day of cross posting. Of course, it's much, much faster than doing it organically. There's no question. But if you could delegate that and give that extra hour or 2 hours a day to someone else just to cross post, are you kidding me? I would pay for that. That would be so much easier. Now, the person that does work for me, she doesn't have time to do that in addition to the stuff that she already does do. I don't have the time or the wherewithal to try and train somebody. So the fact that there may be a pool of people to pull from to have that information there, that to me is well worth it.
That's the idea, is that nobody wants to train them. And Tommy has a good thing. He's like, when he thought about it, that giving up the passwords, he couldn't do it. So let me just tell you that I get it. I give up my passwords because there's this trust. I mean, the platforms are not built for this kind of selling. You cannot grow without the help. I've even just hired a VA, virtual person, to do my bookkeeping. I spent 30 years. This is my area of expertise. And I still hired it out. You know why? Because I wasn't getting to it. And it's important to me to have that data. She's going to catch me up. And then for a flat fee for every month, she's going to do my bank accounts, my credit cards, and everything, and give me a report. That is what I need to run my business. Yeah. The amount of money, it's very inexpensive. And it just takes one more thing off my plate.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm totally excited.
You have to think about your time. Your time is worth money. Especially if you are a full-time seller, if you can free up this set amount of time and you can list more or you can source more or whatever. If
I could free up an additional 10 hours a week that I do cross-posting and take that 10 hours and source or train someone else to do more listing for me, which is my other plan, my in-person listing that I have not trained someone else. I need a second person to train because my girl, Crystal, who I love and who is amazing, only has so many hours in the day. She can't work anymore for me. I would love if I could give her 10 times as much as she does. She knows that. She just can't do it. So and I'm hesitant because every time I try to train a new person, they pale in comparison to Crystal. So I'm like, oh, frick it. I'm never going to have anybody do it. But if I know, it's once you find a good person, it's really hard, but if I could free up more time to train and search for that person, I could free up that 10, 15 hours a week and be sourcing more to grow more, which is what I need to do.
You got to understand, especially if you're a full-time reseller, an hour of your time is not equal to an hour of a VA's time. So when you free up an hour of your own time, it's worth a lot.
Cross-posting is not where your skill set should be. Cross-posting is something you should be delegating if you have the ability to do it. Taking photos is something you should delegate if you have the ability to do it. Maybe paying somebody to do shipping. These are the tasks that can be easily delegated. The sourcing and maybe the listing until you find a very good lister. The sourcing and the listing is the most important aspect of you being a good reseller. And that's the part that you can't I can't delegate sourcing to somebody else. Nobody has my eye to buy the right things. That's right. I just can't, and I won't. But if I don't have enough time to source any more than I do. So finding someone to do the other stuff for you to create more time for you to do the things that actually make you more money is the way that you grow your business. And List Perfectly has helped enormously with that already. Truly. I mean, I talk about it all the time, but I have nearly doubled my income since I started using List Perfectly.
And that's while eBay is going.
And it's true because the market share, eBay's market share has shrunk. eBay, it just has. Yes. The buyers for certain things and certain products are on other platforms. And if you're not on those platforms, then your money's just been going like this. Well, mine has actually stayed the same and increased even while my eBay has gone down every year. So
without List Perfectly, we would be in a huge panic this year over our sales.
If I didn't have List Perfectly and was not on other platforms, I'd be looking for a part-time job right now. I'm not going to lie. If it was just, trying to rely on eBay income. It's not where I need it to be. So, I know we talk about all the time. Obviously,
even me, the eBay girl. I mean, my eBay sales are way down. Poshmark, surprisingly, shipping a lot of Poshmark. But, we're in the game. The market is a little strange. The platforms, it's like this. eBay, if you look at eBay's shares and their earnings reports, they're doing well, but maybe not for the stuff I'm selling. Maybe it's not getting, there's a lot of different reasons.
Right. And the last market share report, they did say they were down. They did say sales were down. The last report that came out last month. So if they're down on eBay, they're down everywhere.
Yeah, that's across all marketplaces. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people, there's a lot of different reasons for that, but I'm grateful for, I haven't done my numbers. I did my numbers for 2020 and so I say this all the time, before List Perfectly, I sold on eBay and Amazon. So in 2020, I took all the sales that I had on platforms that weren't eBay and Amazon, and I averaged an additional $2,200 a month. In 2021, I did the same thing, and it was just shy of $3,000 a month extra income. So removing that, eBay and Amazon, which is where if it wasn't for List Perfectly, all I would be selling. I'm increasing my income by the same stuff. I'm not listing anything. I'm not outsourcing, buying new stuff that I'm specifically going to sell on Depop or Grailed. It's just that different platforms and different. I mean, we all know this, but it's why
I expect to do an additional $75,000 this year on other platforms that I would not be using without List Perfectly.
Right. Yep. Well, and here's the thing, guys. Like I was saying earlier, the reselling world is very, very different now than it used to be, even just a few years ago. And so the BOSS Reseller Remix, like I said, the main theme is really about completely rethinking what it means to be a reseller. You have to do it. If you want to be successful, you can't just be focused on one platform. You have to be using the tools that are out there that are available to you to help you to be a better reseller, to help you to expand, to help you to do things differently. And List Perfectly is the absolute best, single best company out there to be able to do so many things for you. And they're going to be at the remix. And so you're going to be able to actually interact with them, get to know them. There's going to be
questions, ask the questions, give suggestions.
Yeah.
Talk about things that you need for your business that don't exist yet. Maybe it's something I haven't heard of. Maybe it's something that's in the pipeline and you don't know that yet. You don't know what people have been suggesting. If you are not on List Perfectly and you want to be on List Perfectly, obviously my code is listed below. LV Pink Peacock, it's 30% off of your first month. But it's also if you're on one of the lower plans and you want to try one of the bigger plans, it's going to give you 30% off the plan if you want to upgrade as well. The one thing about List Perfectly that is not available for some other types of subscription-based services is you can cancel at any time. You can downgrade at any time. You are not stuck in any contract. You can find the program, then the plan that works best for you. I always suggest starting with the pro level because it tends to offer you the best all-inclusive type of things that you need within the program itself. And if you find that it's too much for you, price-wise or features-wise, you can always downgrade. I have to say, I have a lot of subs that have signed up, using my code, and I never see them downgrade from the pro plan. And I'm just saying this for a reason.
Yeah,
you realize how much time and how many things that it offers you when you're using that plan that it tends to. Look, when you go to the lower plans, you tend to be like, oh yeah, I missed that. I should keep that feature. Because time is money. And if you use List Perfectly to go to just one additional platform, if you have not made your money back within that first 30 days, I would be absolutely shocked.
Yes. If you're actively using it. I mean, I hear people sign up and they're like, I've been on it for 4 months, but I haven't actually used it. It's like, well, that's not going to help you.
They don't have osmosis. It doesn't, it's a pretty good platform, but they're not that good. It's single-handedly, I know we sound like we're doing a List Perfectly, commercial.
Well, we are, but we are. It's for a reason.
It truly, truly is the single best thing to happen in the reselling business or in my reselling business in my entire 20 plus years of reselling. The only thing that even comes close is probably the smartphone. Because the smartphone didn't exist when I started. Okay. So there was no internet to look anything up. You couldn't comp anything.
She had to carry her phone in one of those suitcases in her car.
But yes, it has been the best program for me, for my business. Yeah. The antenna was this long. Yep. You had to take one photo and get it developed and then put it on a canvas.
What I love about the remix is we're gonna have Amanda and Claire there and the team from List Perfectly, but then we're gonna have like Whatnot, and we're gonna have eBay, and we're gonna have all these other people from other aspects of the reselling world. And what I love is they all interact with each other, and so they're building relationships too, and they're building those relationships so that they can better help resellers and better serve resellers. Because I think the companies that are doing really well right now are the ones who recognize.
Yes, I am old.
Who recognize that they need to be working together. And so I'm actually really excited for Clara to meet up with the Whatnot people because obviously right now Whatnot, we're talking about these platforms who are having showing their numbers is going down. Whatnot is going in the opposite direction of all of the other platforms right now.
Whatnot is skyrocketing.
They are exploding. And so I'm excited to see that relationship kind of start. If it hasn't already, I don't know, because I had no but I'm excited. Oh, hey, and speaking of Mark II, so Mark II is actually going to be there. Rather than be a speaker, we asked him to come on as a sponsor because basically we want to lock Mark down. We want him to be trapped in vendor hall for the entirety of the event, because what we really want is we want all of you guys to have access to him all week, because he is not your dad's CPA. He's my personal accountant and CPA.
And
he's
mine. And by the
Vikki's
way,
and Teresa's.
we only have like less than 2 months to get our taxes done. We got to get this shit happening.
Oh man, no. But anyway,
Why
Mark,
do you think I have a VA doing my bookkeeping? That's why I have my VA doing my bookkeeping, because Mark is like knocking on my door.
All right, so when are we going to see Not Your Dad CPA and Let's Perfectly team up so that at the end of the year we don't even have to do taxes? Everything's just done.
We'll put that on the future plan, right?
Feature request. Okay, now we love
Feature
Mark.
request.
Listing party. Next there's going to be taxingparty.com. I mean, come on.
So I just wanted to address one thing that Tommy in Seattle said in the chat. There was a notable YouTuber that said that you shouldn't cross list. That's that same YouTuber that said if you don't make $1 million a year, then you're not a successful
And
seller.
also is only selling on eBay and is currently banned on eBay. So I would just say probably don't take advice from that person about cross listing, because it's not working out so well.
That's all I've got to say about
They're currently
that.
selling on other platforms. All right.
All right, you guys, wrap it up. So October's going to be here in, what did we say last night, 55 days or something like that?
54 days, I think, to get tickets. The tickets are still available, but you want to jump on them. You do want to make sure that you book your hotel so that you have those prices locked down. And once I know some people are hesitating on buying tickets, but once you buy your ticket, you'll be put into the 2022 BOSS Reseller Remix Facebook group. And what's great about being in that Facebook group is you can interact with each other. Maybe you're tight on funds. You can be like, hey, I need a roommate. We know several people who are teaming up with other people and getting rooms together.
Mm-hmm. Getting rooms together.
And that right there, you get one roommate and you cut your costs in half. So
also we had to make sure we should add Mark and Clara if they're not in that group, just so you can kind of see the chat. I started adding some of the vendors and sponsors into that group. You're in there? Okay, good. But I think it's fun. It's fun to interact with people, but also we're going to be offering a lot of things in that group after the event itself. So,
real quick, one last little teaser. So, last year, I think so the different sponsors that come, they give out a bunch of prizes during the remix. Last year, Let's Perfectly killed it. And they gave out 3 Chromebooks, which was really awesome.
So this year there will be 2 Chromebooks
and what are you giving away during your session, Clara? What are you giving away?
Okay, this one is mine. I'm not gonna give you mine, okay? This is mine for me, but I'm gonna give you a Microsoft Surface Tablet Pro, the only tablet capable of cross-posting. Ideal is touchscreen, so you have you can do inventory touchscreen here. So I'm very excited. You can even remove it. Okay, the keyboard, I love it. It has a pen, comes with a little pen, so I'm excited. This is Microsoft Surface Pro tablet.
And you're going to be giving that away during your session.
That's right.
Yes, you have to be there to win.
Yeah.
So,
but your session, I'm assuming you're going to be talking a lot more about Listing Party.
Oh, we're going to be
talking about a lot of the new stuff during their session.
Today is the teasing day. Okay. Yeah. On BOSS Reseller Remix is the launching day.
Whoop, whoop.
Let's make it big or go home.
There you go. There you go, guys. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much, Clara.
Clara, we always love talking to you, my friend. This is always fun. Thank you for allowing us to tease and Theresa to over tease a couple of the new things coming to List Perfectly. We love you guys.
Amanda's on the phone. Amanda,
I'm sorry.
Theresa, we're both on the sleeping in the doghouse.
You're both in trouble. That's it.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Tommy's hilarious. I'm gonna pull a fire alarm during Clara's session so I can get that. Okay, I have one and I use it when I because when I'm watching TV and I cross list. I love it for that. I love it for that more than anything.
Yeah, I'm
So.
excited. I'm excited about the changes to come. This is probably the first thing to really like get me fired up in the last year or so with List Perfectly. Not that I haven't already been using it all along. Just this is the most exciting thing for me.
It's a big addition. It's huge, and that's just with us knowing just a little tiny bit of it. So.
Yeah, that was to be honest, one final tease. That was the reason we haven't been releasing more channels, because we understand as resellers, okay, controlling that growth and giving you more tools, okay, to manage that growth is important. So big things are coming. Many projects are being big tech team that we have. Every penny that listers invest on List Perfectly, just know we're always developing those features that you've been asking for.
Well,
Absolutely.
we're excited. Thank you for being
Thanks,
so
everybody.
responsive. Thank you for being so responsive to the community and being such a huge supporter of the Boss Reseller Remix and our Boss Group and resellers in general. We know that community is important to you and it's important to us. That's how we've built our little network of community through the Boss Facebook group and the Reseller Remix and this channel. We're all about community and you guys are too. And that's why we make such a good fit. So we appreciate you.
Thank
I
you.
love you, friends.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.